Let's start.
Thanks for joining.
Absolutely, man. A pleasure, always.
It's funny how we got here because I was talking to Manuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's your colleague at recruitment,
Mm-hmm.
and he said Guy is one of a kind. So you better have him on the show.
Here I am.
We don't know each other that long because you recently joined the company.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe 9 months ago.
Oh wow! Okay.
It feels like 3 years at this point, which is beautiful. You know, it's been an absolutely crazy ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a short time as well.
Yeah.
Go figure.
How does it feel?
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I was let's say I was quite scared of coming into the company for the first time.
Right.
Before I was working with photography for so many years, traveling all over, you know, and at one point I was like, I need to ground myself, you know, I need to stay in Amsterdam a little bit. So I'm gonna find a stable job, you know, and as a recruiter, because I love talking to people.
Yeah.
But I was scared of like actually just having to come to a company and being in the office. It was a very completely different lifestyle than what I had before.
Yeah.
But it worked out beautifully. People are so nice here, you know, everyone's amazing. The events are great, you know, just being in the office with Khadija, Tonino, everyone, Manuel. It's always a pleasure, It's great. I love it so far.
Yeah. And that's your first gig in the Netherlands?
In the Netherlands, yes. Yeah.
So you moved to... Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. So you moved to Amsterdam recently, so like 9 months ago or something?
No, that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yeah, I was studying business administration here at DVA with a specialization in finance. And then I finished, thank God, because that was a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. But it all worked out. I graduated and now I'm here.
Yeah.
That.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. The New Year's party.
Oh, yes. That was amazing.
We were just talking before this, right?
Yeah.
You told me a story about... what happened after the party?
Oh, never again.
Sorry to mention it again.
No, it's okay.
Because I didn't hear the whole story.
It's fine. Yeah, my bike completely broke down. It was a mess. Like with the electric bike, it's a heavy bike by nature. Right? So without the battery, it makes no sense trying to pedal that. Yeah. And the gear was stuck on the last gear. So I was like, it was like going uphill.
Man.
Oh, that was so bad. The moment I got home, you know when you're like almost like screaming, like trying to do the last little steps. Yeah. The moment I got home, I was like, I need to just just stay here and just sleep for the next 10 hours. That's what I did.
Oh, you made it.
Yes,
you made it.
I made it.
That's awesome.
It worked out.
Yeah, it's funny with these like new electric bikes. I'm not a bike dude, by the way, but so I have kids, right? Young kids, and we're looking into buying a buckfeets. You know those?
Oh, the proper.
With the front.
The child carriers.
The child carriers, and I haven't tried one of those before, but just like I tried like an electrical bike before, and it's like without that support, like I don't know how you can it's very heavy.
It's without support it doesn't.
Very popular though, a lot of people.
Yeah, too many people are using it, and I'd never even seen it before I came to the Netherlands. You know, like dogs being carried, children being carried, people being carried. You know, just like grown mass and like men. You know, beautiful. That's the Netherlands, I guess. You know?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
it's funny.
It's good. So you know, like you mentioned. For the people who don't know, so basically, you have an interesting background. So you mentioned something about traveling the world.
Yeah.
And then you wanted to anchor yourself down
as well,
and find a stable job as a recruiter. Okay. Yes. Now I will come back to this point later. But so tell me, like, where are you from?
All right.
Originally?
Yeah. I'm from Brazil. Yeah. I was born in the very south of Brazil. Yeah. It's almost Uruguay, Argentina at that point.
Okay.
But I left Brazil when I was I think 3 years old. Oh. Then I started living in America, in New Jersey, New York, and then back to New Jersey. Stayed there for 6 years. Yeah. That was really cool. I still remember a lot from that day. Yeah. Then I moved to São Paulo, in Brazil again, stayed 13 years there.
Wow.
And then one time, I just did this volunteer program in South Africa. Yeah. Have in mind, this is the first time I'm traveling solo, you know, and then I landed in South Africa. Yeah. And it's like my mind just opened. I was like, wow, this place is absolutely amazing. Everyone is completely different. And in Brazil, you know, like the food is different. People walk different. They talk different. Everything was just like new information being beamed up, you know what I mean? Wow. So I was like, I should do this for every country there is. This is the plan.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And how old were you when you moved to South Africa?
18.
18.
Yeah.
Okay.
I lived there for 3 months as a volunteer, and then after that, I was like, wow, I have to travel the rest.
Interesting.
So eventually, I landed up in Europe, where I started studying aerospace engineering.
Wow.
Do not study that, by the way. For anyone who's watching, do not. Just
Why not?
It's too crazy. It's too crazy. I love mathematics. I thought I had the talent for it and everything. I'm good with numbers.
Yeah.
But I saw that it makes no sense, honestly.
Man,
it was very, very, very complex. I survived 2 years of that course.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, you know what? I'm sacrificing way too much of my personal life for this course.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't even like it that much at one point, you know. So
that's the key, man.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have that really because it's really tough. It gets really tough. It gets really tough. I'm talking about from experience as well. I don't know if it was as hard as the calculus needed for aerospace, but I was like in a math, you know, how do you say that? So I went to American University, right?
Okay.
So before doing that, I was in we have like a 2-year preparation program where you can, if you can go into that, and then it's heavy math, like math heavy focused.
Yeah.
And then you study some crazy math, like proofs and all that shit.
Oh.
And then you, after 2 years, you get to a point where you're finally ready to get to those high school. This is like French, system. It's really complicated, and I didn't want to do it anymore. It's like you mentioned, if you don't have
you gotta have the. It's just
you gotta love it.
You gotta have the personality for it, you know. And the people who I met in that course, I think it was me and another 14 people total for the whole year, because not many people were going to that course. They were the smartest people I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, these are the types of kids who, like, when they were like 2-3 years old, they would like take their radio apart, their TV apart, all their toys apart, and try to understand how it's working. Yeah. So they have a natural engineering background, you know. And I never had that. I was just good at maths. So that was not enough, you know. Yeah. But it was not my thing anyway.
Yeah. I get it. Okay. So I'm just trying also to connect the dots, because now you ended up in working with people with technology, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
I think it stemmed a lot from like when I was traveling, you know, when after South African trip, I started traveling all over. I did 96 countries. So that was beautiful. And
what? 96 countries?
96.
Wow. Yeah.
Hopefully 100 by the end of this year. Let's see how it goes.
Wow.
That'll be cool. So in each of these countries that I was visiting, I was like talking to a lot of people from different backgrounds, different like lifestyles and everything, you know, rich, poor people, CEOs. God, I've met every type of people. And what I realized is that I just like talking to people. I love talking to people. That's it. There's nothing else to it, you know. I just like knowing about their background, their story. And when I saw Khadija do the recruitment thing, I was like, wow, this is it. This is perfect. So here I am.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the South African trip. So they speak Afrikaans, right?
They speak Afrikaans.
Afrikaans speak English.
Yeah.
I guess, I've heard stories about English being like the poshi speaking, and then, you know. And then now you're in Afrikaans is almost like Dutch, but it's not the same.
It's like a Dutch, I feel like
I've
heard that they can maybe understand each other in some points. Yeah. I was just confused. I spoke some English, you know, but my English was rusty. So when I was there, it was just this whole shock, you know. And I was staying in this house with some European people, you know, some French, German.
It's almost, but it's funny. It's like you almost don't have an accent in English. Your English is almost like you don't have an accent.
Thank you, I guess.
No, that's
it's crazy, right? There is no true accent to it.
Yeah.
I feel, go figure, right? I think I learned English in America, and then I learned English like in South Africa as well, and then all over while I was traveling. So maybe I have a little bit of every accent, and it just averaged out. Yeah,
it's amazing, man. And like English now is like the standard, like everybody. Like that's probably like the key for when you traveled 96 countries. Like it's probably, you know, Portuguese, right?
Yeah, I know Portuguese.
So Portuguese. So did Portuguese help you in any of those?
Nope.
No. So mostly English.
Not even in Portugal. Can you believe that? Wow. I don't understand them. Like it's a very different accent. But English is the one language where you can use nearly everywhere. Out of those 96 countries, I could use them in like 94. The other two were a whole different set of situation. China, for example, if you go into like the deeper part of China, you can absolutely forget about English. You can even forget about the Latin alphabet. You just have to, that was difficult.
Oh, wow.
That is really, really difficult. If you're like in a village where no one speaks English, you just have to find your own way around, you know, you have to find what is a hotel, what is a restaurant, because you can't even read the signs. Same thing in Iran. Impossible. But it worked out, you know, you get to see some like, you get to see the true China, the Chinese people who are living in the fields and everything.
How long did you stay there, sorry?
In China?
Yeah.
1 month.
1 month?
1 month, yeah.
Oh, you took 1 month, and was it enough, or was it the plan to stay 1 month?
It wasn't enough, but...
it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough, but as well, it was longer than I expected, because just from going from point A to point B inside these countries that was a whole different set of like situation. Just showing up at the bus or the train station without the English necessary, I had to adapt. No internet as well. I couldn't buy a SIM card, so I was just on my own. But it works out. Hand gestures go a long way, I figured out. It works out.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because like we as humans, we evolved, right? And then we, like back in, I'm just bro science, right? So back in the day, we didn't have like language.
Yeah.
So I guess we have some sort of like systems or built into us to communicate without words.
Exactly.
And then you put yourself in that position. Will, you knew, didn't you?
I knew.
You knew what you're going into.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you end up there, and then you just use gestures. Where did you stay?
Where did I stay? Like in
No, I mean like in a hotel or?
Hotels, Airbnbs, hostels. God, I slept absolutely. God,
I mean in China.
Oh, in China, yeah.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. God, at one point I was even sleeping on the wall of China. Like, I put my tent up there. That was a childhood dream.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I was like 16 or something. I saw the wall of China. I was like, wow, that must be really cool, you know, to just be there. But it must be even cooler to sleep there.
Yeah.
And one day I just grabbed my tent. I was in Beijing, took the 3-hour bus to go to this one section of the Wall of China. You cannot do that, apparently. You cannot sleep there.
No.
But
no.
They just did it anyway.
Nice.
Yes. And I found this abandoned section of the wall, because the wall opens from 9 to 5. It's like a national park, right? But there's this one section that's abandoned. So I was like, I'm just going to stay here until after 5.
Cool, man.
And then I'll walk into the normal section.
Yeah.
There's no guards. I don't understand. It's China. But I put my tent up there. It was amazing. I could see the stars. It was the morning as well. I had the whole wall for myself. It was an absolutely incredible experience. I cannot possibly imagine, explain it, honestly.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
That's fucking amazing, man. Yeah. That's pretty cool. One of the things that I really find distinguished about you, Guy, is your voice. I think you have a really nice voice.
No, thank you.
Really, for me, like when I hear your voice, I hear a little bit of Morgan Freeman.
Ooh, really?
In the
deep voice.
In the deep voice. So what I did just before this interview, I hate to do this to you, man, but let's just roll with the punches, man. Roll with the punches. I pulled up. Let me see how we can find this. I pulled up some of the most famous Morgan Freeman quotes.
Ooh.
Can I ask you to please read for me? Like,
give me that.
You can take whatever you want and like.
Call me the Brazilian Morgan Freeman from now on. No problem. All right. Should I start with the first one?
Just grab whatever you want, man. Whatever you think interesting is.
You measure yourself by the people who measure themselves by you. Was that Morgan Freeman? I don't know. First time I'm hearing this, but I'm just rolling with it. They call them accidents because it's nobody's fault. Is this is also Morgan Freeman? Oh yeah, it is. It's the movies here. Beautiful. Yeah. It only took me 6 days. Same time it took the Lord to make the world. Wow. Very beautiful passage by our
it's okay, man.
Beautiful.
But it's amazing, man.
Thank you. Yeah, Manuel had mentioned that I had a nice voice as well, and he told me to do a Sytac radio show.
Okay.
Maybe that's in the works.
Maybe we should get you together to do a show, man, because your voice is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
That's great. Cool. Yeah. So the work now that you're doing for us as a recruiter. You get to talk to a lot of people, which is nice. from different countries also.
Yeah, a lot. Yes.
But I'm guessing in this day and age, like when you're trying to recruit people, you're doing it mostly over the phone, or most over
phone screen.
Yeah, phone screen, video screen, etc. And you obviously have this background with yourself, having traveled the world and all of this. You told me also before we sat down that you have a lot of experience doing video editing and with the hospitality industry, etc. We put it on the side. Now you're looking for recruiting for technical people, developers, engineers, and so forth. I'm interested in like what makes you think that, like, let's say I'm on the phone with you, I'm applying for a position at Sytac. If you're a developer, by the way, and you're interested in joining us, please, reach out. We'll put a link or something down here in the description.
And you'll go through me. Let's see how that goes.
Yes. Watch out. So, what makes you think like, this is a person that would be a match for the company or for...
Yeah, this is the one most important thing when I'm like doing the first initial phone screen with someone. I do have to see if this person is a good fit culturally for the company, right? And this was very difficult to do in the very first few months, because, I just arrived here. I didn't know what the culture was like. I did get a good idea of it within a month or two. I feel like everyone was very extroverted. They're very open. They're very open about themselves. They have this way of communicating. Good communicators. That's the one thing I'm looking for mostly. It's very difficult for me to assess the technical skills themselves most of the time when I'm like on the phone screen. But I can definitely assess the person's soft skills. So it's very important that this person can just be an open communication person who can like talk to managers or their fellow developers here or anyone from the management team, anything, right? I really do need to pay attention to that to see if everything just matches up together. And sometimes it can be a difficult call because this is not a science, right? You can't put numbers into this. This is pure instinctual feel,
Yeah, I was going to say that because like I asked you this question and I know it's a difficult question, and you probably like with all of this background, like in your experience and all of that, you built like some reflexes within yourself to just instantly recognize somebody. You're not going to sit down and like have a checklist, right? You probably, and that's probably one of the reasons we hired you, because you have these instincts, these good instincts, right? Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's something that at this point I feel like within the first 2-3 minutes I already know a lot about the person, how they communicate, and I've already taken a decision by then. Of course, these things can change as the interview goes. It's usually the last 30 minutes. But the first few minutes are the most important ones, because this is where I start the interview with a very open question. Where are you from? What are you doing? What's happening? And then I can get a feel of the person, of what's the energy of this person like? If this person can break the ice very quickly. But I feel like, as I mentioned before, the whole traveling thing made it really easy, because the one thing I noticed is that when I'm recruiting someone from outside of the country, I always ask them, where are you from? The person can tell me like, I'm from South Africa or Albania or this. And I'm like, I've been there. I've done this. I eat this. I slept here. Tried all these things, and they're like, "Oh wow, that is so cool." So immediately, I already have a point of contact, a common point of contact with this person. So this person is more free to be themselves. Like, now I have one thing in common that we can actually build upon about. And then the interview goes. So it really definitely helps. It really definitely helps being in the same place as these people were in before.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. And then you're obviously getting used to the whole tools that people use, like people mostly now on LinkedIn, and you look at the profile, and I guess you get some information from there. Do you get people reach out to you?
Quite a lot. Quite a lot, actually. I have no idea how many messages on LinkedIn.
Let's say, for example, John Doe reaches to, John Doe, reaches out to you, to Guy, and like wants, he's interested or she's interested in a position that you're recruiting for. What would be a good approach for the person to be on your good side, if you know what I mean? Like.
I feel like there's no precise answer for that. I've been approached in so many different ways and formats, you know, like some people being very formal, some people being very open. I don't think there is much of a right way, but I do like the messages that are very concise, fast, you know, just like two lines like, I'm interested in Sytac, I've read this and this about Sytac, I feel like it would be a good place for me to work. Here's my CV, you know, let me know what's up. And that's it. And then I'll take a look at the CV, see the years of experience, try to make an average of all that, maybe show it to manuals, other people, and if it's a go, it's a go. And then we'll see on the actual phone screen. That's what really matters.
What really matters,
yes.
Yeah, of course. You still have to go through a lot of these applications or messages if you,
Quite a lot.
Any red flags? It's kind of funny, like I don't put on the spot, but I was talking to Saskia in the previous episode, our head of sales, and she was like, well, this whole like sales recruitment, all of this is like a little bit like dating.
Like a what?
Dating, like online, right? Like it's like I've not done a lot of online dating because I've been like with my partner for a while now.
Fair.
Yeah, but it seems I totally understand it because like you have all these like.
Yeah.
You have to do some matching, right?
Yeah.
And you have to do some screening.
Yes.
Right? In both situations, it was kind of funny, but any red flags that like.
Let me think. I feel like when I'm initially approached by someone and I look at that.
And we're talking here about LinkedIn, not online dating.
Not Tinder, not Bumble, nothing. That's for another episode. But usually, I don't feel like I've had a bad approach yet. No. It's usually pretty simple, you know. Like,
what about when you look in the profile of somebody?
Red flags. I feel like usually I was speaking to Zolt about this, and we had this one guy who was a DevOps engineer, and he was pointing to me some red flags, but it's very imperceptible to someone who's not very with the technical acumen. You need a lot of technical acumen. I know a lot about developing and everything, but I haven't developed myself, of course. But these small details. Only a developer.
Yeah, of course, you gotta have like some experience in the development, hands-on to spot the bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why you have a full team of developers at your disposal if you won't have any questions, and that's fair.
Exactly. So I'm always asking everyone, every CV I get, I'm like showing it around.
You don't mind if people have been jumping from company to company?
That sometimes can be a red flag indeed. Now that you mentioned that, you know, if I see that someone has been jumping from company to company in like, let's say, less than 6 months, you know, like consistently, that is usually
what's
a red
the story
flag,
there?
You know,
right?
What's the story there? In some cases, I still do interview the person based on this, you know, but I feel like there's stories to everything. Maybe this person really does like moving from company to company, which we won't agree with. But maybe else something happened, you know. People have a lot going on in their lives. I have heard incredible stories about why people have like left companies, why they left their country, you know, like so many things can happen. So it's always good.
Care to share any stories? Do you have any?
I don't think I could. I don't think I could. Some are very crazy. I have heard a lot of stuff, but this is the true reality of the world, you know, like no one's behind work. There's this whole life of a person, so I feel like I have to listen properly and attentively to see what this person is saying, what was their situation, and to see if it's excusable or not, you know?
Yeah, I know. Any funny stories? I'll tell you a funny story from...
Give me.
So I was... it's kind of funny. So I was doing a remote interview. I was interviewing somebody for a previous company I was working for, and... we were looking for like a developer position as well.
Right.
And this guy, we were talking to each other. I think he was somewhere in Asia. And then, you know, like you're looking at the other person on your computer. And then I would ask a question. And then comes the answer. Question, answer. We're doing a little bit of a technical screening. And then I realized at some point that when I talk to him, there's a consistent delay of like 4 or 5 seconds every time I ask the question, immediately followed by, sorry, the internet dropped. Like, And then I started being suspicious.
Yeah.
And then what I realized is that every time I ask the question,
Yeah.
I see the reflection. There's a small white reflection in the person's glasses.
What? Yeah.
So obviously there is a reflection from the screen,
Yeah.
but the reflection would almost consistently over a course of like 5 questions turn into white.
Oh, was he Googling the questions?
Exactly.
No way.
Exactly. So he was Googling it.
Wow.
And I was like,
that is
hey
crazy.
man, are you Googling the answers? And he's I told him, yeah. I told him, are you Googling the answers? I'm fine with that. Just tell me, because I don't know, like if you know this, but us as developers, most of our work is Googling.
Yeah,
we
I
do
heard
a lot
about
of
this.
Googling all the time.
Yeah.
Like you can't memorize all the information.
It's impossible.
But he didn't like it. He's like, no.
Really?
I was like, okay, fine. I'll ask the next question.
Yeah.
And I had it. I also Googled it at the same time that he's Googling it.
Oh.
And I see him reciting, like, trying to skip a word here and there. And I was like, okay,
God damn it. Wow, that is... Yeah, if you're going to Google, do not wear glasses. That's the first
And don't
thing.
hide it.
And don't hide it. Yeah, it's okay to Google. It's
Yeah,
okay to
it's
Google
okay to
stuff.
Google, for sure.
It's okay to use ChatGPT. It's okay to use the AIs out there. They're tools, right?
Exactly.
They're tools.
Exactly.
But you are the developer at the end of the day, so, well, it's just a mix.
100%. One question that I ask everybody who gets on the show.
All right.
I'm going to ask you today as well. Who's your favorite Sytac person?
Ooh. Well, there's only one answer for this, and it's the person who got me this job in the very beginning. Khadija. Has to be Khadija.
Oh.
It has to be. Khadija is just someone I've been friends with for quite a while already. I think
Khadija is one of our recruiters as well.
Yes. I think I've been friends with her for more than 2 years now.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was just incredibly energetic person. You will never see Khadija down, Yesterday at the New Year's party, she was the life of the party. She was like going around making everyone dance, making everyone like
engaged,
And people do engage with Khadija because she just has this emanating aura, that if you're caught up in it, you're vibing with her as well. But yeah, I was referred to this company by Khadija itself. So Khadija twice.
Yeah,
that's right.
We'll try to have her on the show next time.
You should.
In a future episode. Nice, man.
Yes.
So what's next, man?
What's next in professional
life?
Or,
like what's going on? Like
Well, today I put I needed some holidays. It's been a lot of work on these last 8-9 months. It has been absolutely non-stop. So I was like, okay, time for me to go to the mountains a little bit, meditate.
Where you going?
Going to India, Nepal. That's the idea. And then I'm flying to South Africa to do Lesotho, Swaziland. That's the 100th country, I feel like. And then I returned to the first place I ever visited in my life, which was Cape Town. Just as a nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
And to do the exact same things that I did when I was 18. Just to
nice,
go back.
How old are you now?
29.
29, okay.
People don't say I'm looking 29. People say I look like 21. You tell me.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. How old would you think I am? Yes.
So you're taking a couple of weeks off, or?
Yeah, I'm taking a month off.
A month off. That's amazing.
I needed.
And you leaving tomorrow?
No. I'm. There's still a lot to be dealt with before, but I'm leaving in end of March.
End of March.
To put it for there. So that's what's up next, and also looking for the consultant manager for this company. That is also one of the steps in the professional life here.
Yeah.
Very difficult role to recruit. This has been the most challenging thing.
How long have we been looking?
Wow, I think at least 4 months. At least 4 months.
So we have two. We have Matthew, we had on the show. We have Carolina.
Yes.
And I believe she's the second one who was hired. And we need, as the company's growing, and the company has grown
a lot.
Grown a lot.
How many hires last year again? Almost 50. Right?
I don't remember, but we grew to over 100 people now, and it's amazing. It's
that
crazy.
Is crazy.
We're at the party last night. I was like, 2 years ago, it was like, you pretty much know everybody.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was like, who the fuck is this person? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's fun,
There's a lot of people in India. I've never even seen some of the people, but I tried meeting some cool people yesterday.
Definitely.
It was a vibe.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people there. I think 100, right?
Yeah, there's a big turn up yesterday. It was fun.
That was
fun.
That was
good food, good music.
The best food, not just good food. That was Brazilian food we were talking about. Yeah. When I saw that was Brazilian food, I was like,
what was the tell sign? Did you see those? What was it called? What's the beans with the meat? I forgot.
The feijoada.
Feijoadas, feijoadas.
No, I even realized it before because in Brazil, in these steakhouse restaurants, they have a little thing with a yes and a no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they come with the meats and the swords, and at one point you are going to be full because that's the nature of a Brazilian restaurant. You never leave with your empty stomach. And yeah, the moment I saw the yes and the no on the table, I was like, I'm going to stay here. This is it. My new house. I'm back, you know. So,
amazing.
So yeah, that was great. Great food, good wine. So it was absolutely lovely.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. And it's like you're obviously you're originally from Brazil.
Yes.
And did you keep a part with you? Of you travel in the world, obviously the language.
Yeah, like my Brazilianness. Yeah. I will never quit that. Like I still am full Latino. Yeah. Of course, I have some European components from living here for like 8 years in this continent. Yeah. But Brazil's Brazil. We are passionate people. We're fun. We're very energetic the whole time. You know, we're never sad. We're always happy with everything. So I think that's the spirit of being Brazilian, and I always take it to my trips. And honestly, I love being Brazilian, man. It is a very neutral country that no one hates, I feel like. So when I go outside of it, like abroad, and they see I'm Brazilian, they're like, wow.
You still go back?
To Brazil?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least every year. Although, I haven't seen my family now for a year and a half, so that has to change as well. So hopefully very soon I am coming back.
Who do you have there? Your parents? Or?
Yeah, everyone.
Everybody?
Yeah, I'm the first one who left the Brazil to actually come live abroad.
Okay.
My sisters actually.
How many sisters you have?
I have 2 sisters.
2 sisters.
Yes, Naor and Allegra. They're probably going to watch this video as well. And my mom and my dad Felipe.
Amazing.
And everyone's still back there. It's
sorry, just curious. What city? What country? Like what part of the country?
This is São Paulo.
São Paulo.
São Paulo. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a massive
city
with the population of the Netherlands.
São Paulo.
Yeah. Of course.
I was going to ask you something actually earlier. So, like there's this reputation about like Brazil in some areas is a little bit, difficult to live in terms of like safety and stuff. Did you notice the same thing in South Africa or something similar?
It's similar-ish.
Similar-ish.
I've been to a lot of really, really, really dangerous countries. Yeah. And I feel like violence is something that is very complex and it's always very different. Yeah. I've been to Central America, Honduras, Nicaragua. Yeah. These countries are really like crime-ridden and everything. But Brazil is different. Brazil is a place, it's generally unsafe, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It's a beautiful country, had everything to be the best country on the planet. Yeah. But it is unsafe indeed because crime is very widespread throughout the city, almost uniformly. Yeah. It doesn't depend if you're like in a poor area, a rich area, it's all the same. Yeah. The probability of you being mugged is literally the same in everywhere. And this is the only country where I've experienced this. This is the only place. Because in Nicaragua and South Africa,
you have to go to specific
places.
Yeah, I understand. I don't want to turn this conversation into because I also understand. Like I'm originally from Morocco, so there's I know what you're talking about, and there's some areas that are a bit dangerous.
Indeed.
It's not spread evenly, like you mentioned, which is something I've not experienced. But like crime in numbers is different from your human experience.
Yeah.
So when you meet the people, like it's a bit different. So it depends on your luck. Also, it depends on many factors.
Many factors.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, please come to Brazil. This is the place to go. Honestly, do not be afraid of what I'm telling you. Yes. Just make sure you pair up with a Brazilian person before and get some information about how to like travel safely there. And
I've never been. I'd love to go.
You gotta go in the carnival, especially. Yeah, this is
But back at the time where when you guys had the World Cup 2014.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
I used to live in Canada at the time. So I was like, I was almost like on the verge of like having a trip there, but it didn't work out because it was close-ish.
Close-ish, same side of the world, right?
Yeah, definitely. Cool,
but
man.
you should go. Cool. You should definitely go. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely place.
Amazing, man.
Especially the beaches, 40 degrees, Rio de Janeiro, getting a tan. What else do you need? You have a coconut in your hand as well?
What's not to love, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Another question that I would love to, I usually ask as well.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite Sytac moment up until now?
Least favorite. All right.
I know you haven't spent a lot, still not a long time with us yet, but yeah.
I feel like I had 99% of the moments I had here were very positive. There was this one candidate though that I was sourcing for in the very beginning of this, while I was still trying to navigate my whole way through the Sytac business.
Yeah.
And it was a candidate who was like very eager to come here. He was having interview for company X, and us. But he was super eager to come here. He was very happy. But because of some misalignments we had with the sales team and the recruitment team, it was like almost everyone's fault. It just happens. It can't be a perfect team the whole time. Yeah. And we lost the momentum there, so we lost the hire. Oh, okay. And I remember him calling me, and wow, that was when I saw that this thing it really matters to people. This is like their job. There's a life behind it. And this guy was visibly distressed, by the fact that even though we had sent him the offer, we couldn't go for it anymore. That was complicated. I learned that taught me a lot of stuff about how to deal with that. I should never mess up with anything regarding this. I have to be absolutely pristine perfect when I'm like dealing with offers and candidates. Yeah. So that was the least favorite moment I had. I feel like it was a bit hard for me, but this is life. This is where you learn from. You learn
it's a learning moment, I guess.
Exactly.
As well. So
exactly.
Everybody. I speak from experience as well. Like very few things I have learned in my life. I didn't, learn from making mistakes. Like you learn from making mistakes.
You gotta make mistakes.
Yeah,
it just happens. It will happen. Yeah. You can't get sad because of it. You just
of course not.
Go back up and now you know how to not fuck up.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Something that I'm curious about. So you're recruiting, mostly sourcing for developers for us, engineers, developers, etc. So you deal with them externally, developers, and they also deal with us internally because as developers, you will collaborate with each other. We have some coding challenges that we ask candidates to do, etc. Like. So you're like surrounded by developers on both ends. Like did you learn anything new from dealing with
developers?
Yeah, in general. Because I guess if you're traveling the world, like it's not like a typical profile that you run into or.
You run into many different profiles when you're traveling. Here, this is the thing. It's very interesting because in Sytac, I feel like we have one type of developer, the extroverted type, the type that's very free thinking and everything. But outside of Sytac, it is almost as traveling. Yeah. Because it really depends where the candidate is from. If he's from Russia, China, or I don't know what. This person is already culturally different. So there's a lot to consider. It's a whole set of
it's a whole can of worms, and it's like also like some of the things. For example, like I don't know. Maybe you have a different experience, but sometimes you want to assess somebody's ability to take feedback, positive or negative, right? You just tell them, you throw something at them and see how they react. Like it depends also on cultures, right?
Depends,
on culture. Sometimes
And this is one thing I definitely do pay a lot of attention, like where this person is from, what is their cultural background, and how should I not just send feedback or not, but also how I'm going to behave during the... I don't change my personality per se, but there is some minor, small adjustments that you have to do in order to make sure that you're connecting on the same level, right?
Exactly.
But with feedback, it's also very important. I have to do it right every time. So I'm always paying a lot of attention to where this person is from and how this person is. And then I give it in the right way so that he doesn't take it as an offense, but only as a constructive
feedback.
Of course.
You just try to be sensitive to people, I guess. And,
exactly.
It almost always works out. Amazing. Cool, man.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know where to go from this, but...
Any more questions you have in
No, I mean, we already talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But what are you doing now? Like, what are you working on?
Now, one thing I'm focusing is the consultant manager position. This has become my life at this point. This is when I knew it was a difficult position, so this is what I wanted a challenge, you know. So just went for it, and there's really nothing else on my pipeline almost, you know. This is it.
Just the focus.
When I put it in my head that I'm going to do it, and I know that the company really needs a consultant manager,
it's a very tricky role. It's a very tricky role, right?
Exactly, and I do not like failing in anything that I do, so this is it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm working.
Yeah, I hope we find the right person, because it's really needed in the company.
Indeed.
As we grew, you know, we talked about this a lot.
Yeah, it will happen. It will happen
for sure.
For
If you need any help, let us know.
Absolutely. Of course.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I think we got to the end of the interview.
Yeah, we discussed everything.
We talked a lot.
It just went every direction. Beautiful. This is exactly how it should be.
That's amazing, right? And I wish you like a wonderful trip when you go. You said you're going to Asia and then South Africa, and then you're going back to Brazil also.
If there is some time, hopefully.
Okay.
Yes, maybe I can.
You're just winging it, man. Or you're still planning?
I don't plan anything. If you're watching this and you're gonna travel, try not planning anything. Just go and see what happens. I guarantee you, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's gonna be a little bit crazy as well. But that's traveling.
Exactly. It's an adventure, right?
It's an adventure.
Yeah. That's exactly how we did this interview as well.
Exactly.
Which I really enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you very much.
And see you guys next time.
Have a good one. Awesome.
Yeah.
That was it.
Man, Did you like it?
Man, this was cool.
Yeah?
This was amazing. Yeah.
I hope
I want to do more of these now. I'm gonna start like emailing some talk shows and everything. You know.